All right, so let me get right into it, family. I got to talk about this. Marcellus Wiley. Eventually, the coon or the coon code that you abide by eventually comes out. Now, Marcellus Wiley, which, to be honest with you, I don't really follow too closely. As far as, I know he had a show with Max Kellerman and stuff like that. I didn't really watch the show that often, just very seldom. So I don't really know too much about this guy, Marcellus Wiley, in terms of his commentary, right? I just watch his shows here and there. But from my understanding, this is the first time he actually said something so outlandish that puts him in the category of someone who is protecting the fabric of white supremacy with this rhetoric that he just spewed out, talking about Colin Kaepernick is not being blackballed from the Billionaire Boys Club NFL, right? So I'm going to play this video, family, and I'm going to react to it with my commentary and give you guys my thoughts on this. So here we go.
I like one word. It's called leverage. And let me give you a microscope of how leverage works in the locker room and how it has now gotten to this level. In the locker room, when you're the best player, you can say a joke that's not funny and everyone laughs. True. Now, when you're not a good player, you can say the best joke and no one laughs. Now, remember this leverage, because that's what's happening to Colin Kaepernick. At his heights, he did not protest. At his heights, he didn't take a knee. When he was in the Super Bowl, he didn't take a knee.
Okay, so here's the thing. What that is true, but here's the thing. When you come into knowledge, when you come into consciousness and stuff like that, you start to evolve. So it wasn't until after he lost that Super Bowl, Colin Kaepernick, that is, where he started, studying. He started posting about social injustices pertaining to black people, etc., etc. That's when he became, quote unquote, conscious and started getting more in tune with politics and just basically social injustices pertaining to black society. So when he first came into the league, obviously he wasn't conscious at all. He was the complete opposite. He was a dude that's, a typical NFL player does. Go clubbing, having fun, popping bottles, go on IG, flex, having your money on the gram, the money phone, that kind of stuff. And then at his height, which is true, he was not doing that until, and you have your awakening at any moment in time. You have your so-called conscious moment at any moment in time. Like myself, what kind of started my so-called conscious movement was after the Trayvon Martin situation. That's when I was like, okay, this praying and going to church stuff ain't working, man. What else is really going on? So for Colin Kaepernick, it took him going to the mountaintop in the Super Bowl and losing, and then after that, him just basically being more aware and more socially conscious of black society and the injustices that we face since 1505, the inception of the transatlantic slave trade. All right.
Waited until moments where he wasn't at his best to take a knee. Now, couple those two and Miriam, you got a problem. Give me some numbers, Marcellus. I shall. Here is Colin Kaepernick. Look at this chart. In 21 games, we're just going to reference this. He had the second worst win percentage, the fourth worst completion percentage, and the fifth worst QBR. Wow. Being the guy who is now starting a protest. This comes off the heels of 3 surgeries in one offseason and a dead arm in camp. Now, if you add all of that up, you realize that his protest was not the problem. It was the fact that he did it at the wrong time with no leverage. Therefore, he's not being blackballed.
How can I say this without being offensive?
Okay, now I'm not even gonna play the rest of the video. All right. First, the first thing I noticed also, I don't know who this guy is right here. Kind of real suspect for this guy to wear a grown man's shirt that's half naked and you sitting right next to the dude. I think that's a picture of Marcellus Wiley, pretty much half naked, and a grown man wearing the shirt. Real suspect, if you don't ask me. But his angle, as you just saw, Marcellus Wiley's angle was, okay, his stats ain't good enough. He's not being blackballed because he's black or whatever, and his protests. He's not being blackballed because of his protests and all that. He's being blackballed because he trash. Is basically what Marcellus Wiley is saying. That's BS. Let's go to ESPN, his employer's site. Now he tried to, he got the ESPN guys backstage to, support his argument with those stats to support his narrative, which is a skewed stat. He only looked at, past 2 years. Let's go back in 2016. We look at the QBR rating right now. We're on NFL total QBR 2016 season leaders. Okay, now, Colin Kaepernick is number 23. Okay, so 23, he's ahead of former MVP Cam Newton, Carson Wentz, okay, Eli Manning, a starting quarterback, Super Bowl champion, Blake Bortles, who just threw 5 interceptions in training camp, Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay, and Case Neum. All right. Basically, all these guys are starters. He's better than all these damn starters based off QBR in 2016. And again, Colin does not have a job. He's supposedly supposed to be looked at by Baltimore Ravens, but I saw the first take with Skip Bayless, and I agree with what he said. It's just lip service by the owner, Steve Buscemi. It's just talk. That's all it is. It's just talk. So Marcellus, again, like I said, I didn't really know too much about Marcellus, but I've never heard him say something so blatantly and intellectually dishonest like that. You want to have these damn skewed stats to support your argument, which held no weight whatsoever. It really didn't hold any weight, and just prove to you based off your employer's website, NFL QBR ratings for 2016, that Colin Kaepernick is better than basically 2 MVPs, Cam Newton and Eli Manning. Okay, a Super Bowl champion and another MVP quarterback in Cam Newton. Better than both of them, and the rest of these guys are starters. Blake Bortles? Are you kidding me? Blake Bortles? Right? And Dallas signed a guy that's damn near 40 years old as a backup quarterback. Come on, man. Really? I mean, it's common sense, man. It's common sense. And I saw the Coon Code Festival that was displayed by Ray Allen when Shannon Sharp had their debate about Colin Kaepernick, and how Shannon Sharp brought up, well, the owner is not talking about the reason why he protested and stuff like that. And this Negro, this zombified coon ass dude, Ray Lewis had to throw in the "what about black on black crime" narrative. It's the old tired narrative that it's just, we're tired of it. Come up with some other white supremacist talking point when you want to talk about black society issues. Can you come up with something more original than "what about black on black crime"? Come on, man. Really? That's just a really tired argument. It's been beaten to the ground, okay, since the 1960s, to be honest with you, man. It's been beaten to the damn ground. All right? So Marcellus and a list of other people have been, coon code authors. I like to coin that phrase, coon code, because there is a code. Like, white supremacists, they have a code. Black people supposedly are supposed to follow a code. We don't know what code to follow, because when someone's not supposedly following some kind of code, we get called out by saying, okay, you off code, brother. Well, I call this thing Coons have a code called the Coon Code. They don't go off that code at all. They stay on code. So Marcellus Wiley was on his code, the Coon Code, by saying flat out, Colin Kaepernick ain't good enough, and I have these skewed stats to support my weak ass argument. Now, he ain't being blackballed because he was protesting against social injustices and police brutality. Nah, he just ain't good enough, man. Based off my skewed stats that I went ahead and had the ESPN staff look up for me. Trash. Pure trash, Marcellus. And I know you from Compton. You know, I know you're from Compton. I'm originally from Compton, but your Harvard Ivy League education don't mean a goddamn thing, man. It don't. It don't. Okay? You got to deal with common sense and logic. That trumps everything. All your damn degrees and all that stuff don't mean a goddamn thing. If you don't have common sense and logic, what else do you have? Straight up. So, you know, it is what it is, family. Those are my quick thoughts on that. That thing that Marcellus Wiley was talking about. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. What else do you think? You know, who else is on the fence that's kind of like buck dancing and gonna say something crazy that you don't expect to happen? Who do you think? And let me know in the comment section down below, family. All right. Until next time, make sure you go on Blackspot right now, blackspot.com. Get an account, add me as a friend, and I'll add you back as well on blackspot.com, GMOGMediaTV. The link will be down below in the description, family. Until next time, family, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.